Real growth is small and quiet. There wasn't a breakthrough moment, no dramatic scene, no spotlight or standing ovation, but I remember the morning I didn't spiral after bad news, the night I spoke gently to myself instead of tearing myself apart, the day I said no and didn't apologize for it. It didn't feel like triumph, it felt like stillness, like breath, like something shifting, subtly. I used to think growth would feel loud, obvious, like a rising sun everyone could see, but more often it arrives like this, in the way you pause before reacting, in the way you show up, tired but still kind, in the way you forgive yourself for being human. No one claps for these moments. They don't look like progress from the outside, but inside, something is rearranging, healing, strengthening. Real growth doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't ask for attention. It just happens. In the quiet choices you make over and over when no one's watching. So if you're waiting for proof that you're changing, look closer. It might already be happening. Not in fireworks, but in your everyday courage.
The precious things I missed. It wasn't that I didn't care. I was just busy, trying to get it right. Chasing goals, pleasing others, fixing what felt broken. I didn't see the small moments pass me by until they were already gone. I missed the way someone always waited for me to come home, the quiet gestures that didn't ask for attention, the phone calls I thought I could return later, the morning light spilling through the window, unnoticed. I thought I was doing what mattered, working hard, being responsible, staying focused. But I see now some of the most precious things don't ask for your focus. They wait in silence, in stillness. And if you don't slow down, you miss them. We often look back and think, if only I had known. But life isn't lived in hindsight. It's lived in the small, unmarked moments we overlook while reaching for something louder. Still, missing something doesn't mean it's too late. Sometimes the act of noticing, finally, fully, is a kind of return, a quiet apology, a deeper love. And so I'm learning to notice now, to look people in the eye, to answer the call, to pause when it's beautiful. Because the precious things don't demand, they offer, and it's up to us to receive.
The choices that make life simple. Life doesn't always get easier on its own. It gets easier when we decide what matters and gently set the rest down. For years, I tried to hold it all, every commitment, every plan, every expectation, mine and everyone else's. My calendar overflowed, my mind was a constant checklist, and my days blurred into one long rush. I told myself this was just being responsible, but in truth, I was afraid of what might surface in the quiet. Then, slowly, I began making small choices, saying no to events I didn't want to attend, deleting apps that kept me scrolling instead of living, owning fewer things so I could spend less time cleaning and more time being. At first, it felt like I was shrinking my life, but in reality, I was clearing space for it. Simplicity isn't about having less just for the sake of it.
It's about having more room for what feels alive to you, whether that's a long walk in the park, a slow breakfast, or a conversation that doesn't have to be rushed. The truth is, every choice we make writes the texture of our days. And when those choices point towards ease instead of excess, we start to see what was there all along, life unhidden by noise. So maybe the art of living simply isn't about stripping everything away at once. It's about choosing, again and again, what you'll let in and what you'll lovingly set aside. What you see when you are alone. Being alone isn't just about empty spaces or silence. It's a chance to meet yourself without distractions, the parts you usually hide or rush past. I remember the first time I truly sat alone with my thoughts. No noise, no interruptions, just the rhythm of my own breath. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like staring into a mirror that reflected both light and shadow. But slowly, I began to notice things I hadn't seen before. The quiet worries tucked beneath my daily smiles, the dreams I'd forgotten to nurture, the small joys I'd overlooked in the rush of life. Aloneness reveals what's real. It strips away the noise and leaves you face to face with your true self, sometimes messy, sometimes beautiful, always growing. It's not loneliness, but a kind of clarity, a moment to gather strength, to listen deeply, and to remember who you are when no one else is watching. And maybe in those quiet moments, you find not just solitude, but a hidden well of peace waiting to be discovered. The days I envied someone else's life. There wasn't a dramatic breakdown, no teary confession, no cinematic collapse on the bathroom floor. But I remember scrolling through my phone one night, past vacation photos, promotions, glowing couples, and suddenly feeling hollow. It wasn't jealousy exactly, just a quiet ache. A sense that somewhere out there, life was shinier, simpler, more certain. I looked around my own space. Dim lights, half-done laundry, takeout containers from the night before. My life felt like the before picture in someone else's highlight reel. But then I heard the kettle hiss. A car horn echoed outside. Someone laughed from an open window down the street. My life, imperfect, messy, ordinary, was still happening, right here, right now. We're told not to compare, but how can we not when every scroll is a glimpse into someone else's curated joy? It's easy to forget that behind each perfect post is a human being with doubts, debts, and dreams still unfolding. Some people marry early, some travel endlessly, some stumble into careers that make sense right away. But none of those lives are perfect, just different. And different doesn't mean better. If you've ever looked at someone else's life and wondered if you're missing something, know this: you are living a story too, one that can't be edited into squares or filtered through approval. So next time envy knocks, let it pass through you. Then return to your own life, your old mugs, your uncertain mornings, your small joys. That's still a life, and it's still yours. One question to guide your next step. There wasn't a moment of clarity that came like a sudden thunderbolt. No dramatic crossroads or cinematic montage. But I remember the quiet evening I found myself alone, wrestling with the question that has lingered for years. Am I heading in the right direction? Life isn't a straight line, and decisions often feel like stepping into the fog. Each choice, big or small, carries weight, shaping the path ahead in ways unseen. Sometimes I've felt stuck, unsure whether to hold on or let go, to push forward or pause and reset. I've come to realize that life's course is less about making perfect choices and more about learning how to course correct with grace. To trust that recalibrating isn't failure, but a vital part of growth. The courage isn't just in the decision itself, but in facing the uncertainty that follows. That question, am I heading in the right direction, is less about needing an answer and more about staying awake to my own journey. It invites reflection, patience, and the gentle reminder that life's rhythm is often a dance of trial, error, and rediscovery. So if you find yourself questioning your path today, take a breath. Maybe the question you're holding isn't a problem to solve, but a compass to guide you toward deeper understanding. Life always has lessons to teach. There wasn't a teacher waiting at the front of the classroom. No syllabus, no tests, no clear instructions. But I remember the moments when life itself became my greatest teacher, through pain, joy, loss, and unexpected grace. Life doesn't hand out lessons on neat schedules. It teaches quietly, sometimes harshly, often when we least expect it. A heartbreak that cracks open your heart, a failure that humbles your pride, a moment of kindness that restores your faith. Each experience folds into the next, shaping who we become. I used to wish for a roadmap, for signs that could guide me without stumbling, but I've learned that the beauty is in the learning itself, the slow, sometimes painful unfolding of wisdom that comes from living fully. Life's lessons aren't always easy, but they are always there, waiting to be noticed. And maybe that's the real teaching, that growth isn't a destination, but a journey marked by constant discovery. The courage isn't in knowing all the answers, but in staying open to what life shows us next. So if you're feeling lost or confused today, remember this: life is still teaching you. Keep listening, keep learning, and trust that every moment has something to offer.